The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the function of this Olympus XA 35mm compact camera. It is a true rangefinder focus camera with the rangefinder window and the rangefinder focus. And what I want to do here is demonstrate all the functions so that you can observe this as if you're looking at this in person. And so what I have here to demonstrate is some batteries for the camera, a battery for the flash, and a scrap roll of film. None of this is included in the sale. This is just for my testing purposes. But I'm going to install the batteries and show the function of the camera. So here I use a nickel to open the little battery compartment on the bottom of the camera, and we can see that it's set to accept these two AG13 batteries. I'm going to put those in and tighten push the little door in and tighten it with the nickel, again screwing in. And get it aligned just right. There, felt it click, and so now we can tighten it up. Then on the flash, it takes a single AA battery, nice and clean battery compartment, which is nice since often these were left with the battery in it and you find it 15 years later and the battery's leaked all over, but this one's in good condition. And now the flash installs onto the camera using this screw right here, and so all we do is mate it up there and hold it in place while we tighten this screw. And you only need to do it by hand. There is a little coin slot there, but you don't really need that. So now we have everything in the camera. I'm going to just advance the film here, and we're going to first do the battery check. We hear that audible beep. That tells us that the batteries are in it and it's working. So what I'm going to do now is load this scrap roll of film. So we will first open the back of the camera by pulling up on the rewind crank, and here we see, while we have this open, I see light seals are matted down. They actually don't feel bad on this one. I would say it looks like they've probably been replaced at some point because they do not look as gummy and awful as often is found here. Well, though I do feel some stickiness here, so maybe it is, yeah, it is sticky down in there. It's probably original and just not as bad as some of what I've seen. So actually it looks okay. I would use this camera the way it is unless my first roll of film showed any problems. Let's drop in this roll. We can then pull the leader across. And then this one you actually have to insert it in one of these slots on the take-up spool. And now we're going to have to advance that a little bit and just make sure that's going. Okay, so now we've got the film loaded. Now we'll open up the cover and we can see it's on the little S here. So we're going to fire off a few here and see that now it is showing it's ready for, well, one more. Picture number 1 is right there, and then 2 will be next. So what we've done here is load the film, and we should also set the ASA. Now that was a roll of 400 film, I think, and that's what it's set to right there. But if you have something else, you have to remember to set that here. This one does not automatically read off the film canister. You have to manually set it, whether you're using 100, 200, 400, or whatever. So in order to test this out, let's look in the lens here, and we can see the aperture. As I work the aperture, we can see that closing down and opening up. So we know that's working. Let's fire the shutter here. Now let's stop it way down and turn off this light that's pointed right at the camera and listen to the difference. much slower. And if I were to block more of this, much slower yet. And turning the light back on and opening the f-stop wide up, very quick. So we can tell that the metering is responding to the light. Now let's pop up the flash, and I hear the high-pitched whine of the charging up of that. So let's advance that while we have it. And then we're going to watch for a little orange glow right there, and we see that that has happened. See right there? So that means the flash is ready to go. And let's fire it off and we'll watch. It may not show very well in the video, but here goes. I saw a bright flash. And I hear it regenerating. And there it is again, all ready to go again. And we'll shoot it again just to see. And again I saw it. Now to shut the flash off, you simply push that down. One other thing we should check is the self-timer. So let's flip this over to the self-timer position. Advance the film. And then start it. And we can see this light flashing and it's beeping. And there it completed the cycle. So the self-timer is working. The other thing we should look at is the focus. And we can see as I work the focus lever down here, the distance scale is changing from infinity to 2.8 feet. And if I look really closely, I can see a lens moving down inside there as I work this. And when I look through the viewfinder, I can see the little center area that you need to line up in order to get correct focus. So the rangefinder is working. So about all we have left to do is check the film rewind, and it's manual on this one. So we're just going to pop off the rest of the pictures that were in here until we come to the end, and there I feel is the end. So what we do here is close the cover, push this little button on the bottom, flip the crank back up, and start rewinding. And rewind until we get all the film back in the canister. And that's a little bit tricky to work this little crank. I'm going to do it with my right hand because I'm right-handed, and I still flipped it over. Okay, broke free of the sprocket hole, and here it is. Film is all wound back into the canister. So that's about all there is to check on this camera. We can see it's used, and like most of these, they have some abrasion here. This is a very common place for abrasion on the XA. There's some wear down in the coin slot. So used, but not abused. There's evidence of a sticker used to be here, one of those elliptical past stickers. So, and it has the strap. Those are often missing, and they clip on right here. So, reasonably nice example of the Olympus XA true rangefinder camera with the A11 flash. And just to distinguish it from the replacement model for this was the XA2. They got rid of the rangefinder focus and only have a zone focus, and they changed from a fast f2.8 lens to a little bit slower f3.5. So I like the XA original with the faster lens and the true rangefinder focusing.